point is an easy one. If you look in verse 22, in this marvelous prophecy, Daniel 7 is a tremendous centerpiece of all prophetic understanding. Verse 18, when judgment was passed in favor of the saints of the highest one, those are the true believers, and the time arrived when the saints took possession of the kingdom. They become the kings and the priests of that kingdom. Then he goes into an explanation, and he shows that there is a very wicked final bad king, along with 10 others, kind of an 11th one, along with 10. The 10 would almost certainly be those 10 nations listed in Psalm 83 for your further study, if you're not aware of that. But in 25, this bad guy, this 11th king, speak out against the Most High, against God, and exhaust and wear down the saints. Those are the holy people of God, the international church of God, whoever they are, the true believers. And he, this evil person, will intend to make alteration in times and in law. Exactly what that is, I don't know yet. We'll see. And they, the saints, will be given into his hand for a period of 3.5 years. That period of 3.5 years is key to prophecy. It's the last half of the 70th period of 7 years, which were listed as 490 years. The last 7 years of that 490 years is the time being designated by the time, times, and half a time, otherwise known as 42 months. But now what happens in 27? Then, when you get to the end of that final 3.5 years, that wicked kingdom will be taken away, annihilated. Thank the Lord for that. Praise God for that. Then at that time, when that evil final king is taken out of the way, then the sovereignty, the dominion, the greatness of all the kingdoms under the whole heaven. We're not talking about anything to do with going to heaven in the sky. We're talking about the empire of the world on earth, and this empire of the saints is going to replace that final evil kingdom. And it does say that dominion, greatness, all the kingdoms under the whole heaven will be given to the people of the saints. That's Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and the prophets and all the true believers of all the ages get that kingdom. Their kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom. I can only refer you to the grammar there of the Aramaic, which is a little tricky, but if you look at the International Critical Commentary on Daniel, the natural reading of that is that the word translated wrongly, in my opinion, as his, it's the kingdom given to the people of God. The people of God are singular, that's true. But of course, there are many people there. So the natural translation, and there are 3, I think, standard translations to get this right. The kingdom belongs to the saints. Don't let anybody take that kingdom away from you. It doesn't only belong to God and Jesus. I get that. But in this fantastic verse here, the kingdom belongs to the saints, the people. That's a singular group of individuals collectively as the people of God. They get the kingdom, and all nations are going to have to serve and obey them, the people of God. My goodness, that's not something you hear preached on very much, but I do remind you finally here that in 1 Corinthians 6:2, Paul says, don't you even know, you silly people, they weren't doing well, the Corinthians, don't you understand, Paul said in 1 Corinthians 6:2, that the saints are going to manage the world. Brilliant. Manage the world. The world is going to be under new management. Americans talk about little else than that currently. But the real issue is who's going to manage the world when Jesus comes back? And the answer is the saints of all the ages are going to. And Jesus said, if you want to be like me, then you're going to actually punish the nations with a rod of iron in Psalm 2. That's in Revelation 2:26-27. This is an extraordinary truth. Imagine this, that God has got an eye, his eye on you as a potential king or queen in that future kingdom, destined and being trained now to rule and reign with Messiah in that future kingdom. Give that plenty of thought. Meditate on that day and night. It's a tremendous truth.